Hello all, welcome to auratrainings.com. In this session, we'll discuss about business objects and Oracle VBCS. Okay, so what is a business object and why do we use it? How do we access the business object using the Postman to validate how it works? Okay, so let's get into the agenda. So what is business object? A business object is a resource such as an invoice or purchase order. It's like a database table which has a field and which holds data for your application. So let's consider from a database point of view. What is a table? A table is an object which has set of records and which has a set of columns. And record holds a value, right? Records will have a set of fields and each field will have a set of data type and each field holds a value. So nothing but we use a database table for the purpose of storing data. Similarly, a business object is kind of a table in VBCS, which we use it for the purpose of storing data. In the VBCS, we cannot write a direct SQL query. The only way where your VBCS application can store data is in the business object. Of course, there are many variations of applications you can design, but initially or high level, what is a business object within the concept of VBCS is kind of a business object which we use for the purpose of storing data. And also there is a limitation that the data size of a business object, considering that let us say you have a VBCS service, and if you want to store data using your VBCS application in the business object, the maximum data size it supports is only 5 GB. I mean to say let us say if you have 100 tables and those 100 tables can maximum store total of only 5 GB of data, nothing more than that. Okay. And if you require any other more, if you require more data than this particular thing, you need to have another extension service from Oracle to find out how it supports or not. Okay, for now it supports 5 GB. Coming to next slide, what are the components of a business object? So we know that let us consider from a database point of view. When you have a database, you'll have a table, you'll have a field, and you have a trigger, right? Like you have a row level validation, or field level validation, object level validation, database level validation, or a trigger kind of thing. Similarly, you have a business rules here, nothing but a trigger. You have we call them as business rules, and business rules are available at the object level as well as field level. You have a validation at the object level as well as a field level, and you have a function as of now which is available only at the object level. That's the only difference. Okay, so trigger is nothing but, let us say, if you want to validate, if you want to call a particular functionality whenever any record occurs, whenever any before update or after update, you need to go with object trigger. Let us say field level one, let us say if you're trying to change the value of a field, you can go with a field trigger. And validation, right? You can do a row level validation or a field level validation. Similarly, object function. Now coming to the other two things, like endpoint as well as data. What do you mean by endpoint? So now let us say in a database point of view, whenever you have a table, if you want to provide access of your table to some of the third-party service, what you do, you simply say what is the table name and what are the fields, so that the third party can access your database table. Obviously, of course, you have to provide your connection details. From the VBCS point of view, how do you allow other third party to access your particular VBCS business object? What we do is, whenever we create a business object, it automatically generates the endpoints for you. These endpoints you need to share with the third party, simply so that they can access your particular VBCS application data using those particular endpoints, the business object data, I mean to say. And next one is, what is data? Data is nothing but data, right? So let us say if you want to store some data, when you create an application, by default you can you can upload it manually, or it's like actual data what is available in your VBCS. If you want to see it, you can see it. Now let us get into the application. So let me show you the instance now. Yeah, now this is my VBCS application. I just created a business object called EMP-BO. It just has only a couple of fields, three fields: EMP name, EMP number, as well as job. And the remaining who columns will be generated automatically. And you can also apply some set of validation constraints on this one. And there are one more important thing is, you cannot change the data type once you create it. Okay. And here, if you observe, this is an overview section, where you can mention some set of description kind of detail. And if at all, if you have a relationship of your business object on another business object, you can create a relationship. As of now, we just have only one business object, right? There was no relationship created. Now coming to the next thing, field. So what do you mean by field? You can create like a column, right? Column stuff. Now next, this is security. So what do you mean by security? Whether you want to allow your business object to be accessed by third-party application or not, we can provide all those kind of security stuff. So as of now, I just mentioned anonymous user, so that I just want to access the business object using the Postman. Okay, and you can also provide a security like a different security rule for each particular data access level kind of thing. Nothing but for view purpose, with which users you want to access, update access to be given to which users, delete access should be given to which users kind of thing. Okay. Next one is a business rules, right? Like I was telling, right? Object triggers, field triggers, and all these things you can create here. Now, if you just observe here, before insert, before update, before delete. Similar functionality what we have in the database. Of course, you may not have the extensive functionality what you have in database, but a similar kind of mimic functionality you have here. Now, field trigger. Okay, let us say test EMP name. Which column you want to have? Let us say on EMP name, and just create a field trigger. And you can provide a workflow process, like like on which particular condition, custom code. You can write a Groovy script. There are many other things you can do it. Okay. And now next coming to the endpoint. So these endpoints, it will not, don't try to disturb them. Let it generate by default. Now here, if you observe, I have a endpoint like a get and post. Okay, get is for the purpose of getting all the data. Post is for the purpose of creating a record. And here, if you want to get the data of a specific ID, you can mention / a particular ID. And patch is for the purpose of updating it. Delete is for the purpose of deleting a specific record. Now let me try with the get. Okay, so what I'll do is, for the get, you just need to know what is the endpoint, right? You just need to know what is the endpoint. So this is the endpoint of your get request. You just can simply copy it. Okay, and now this is not a simple business object, right? You can like it's not that anonymous even though it says anonymous user, without a particular credential, it will not allow you to access a business object. But then how do you test it, right? So there are many ways. Now, if you just click on application setting, go to application setting. Now click on user roles. Okay, there is nothing here. Click on business object. Yeah. So now here there is something called a bearer token, right? Access token. You can also give allow anonymous access to business object. Okay. Now I'll just say get access token. So there could be a different set of ways of accessing the business object using Postman, but I tried with this approach. It is working. Bearer token. Simply copy this bearer token. Okay. Copy. Now let us say I want to access the get service. I want to access the get service. What I'll do is I just copied the bearer token, right? So now in the authorization, or let me show you from the scratch. Let us say I'm creating a new get request, right? Now in the authorization here, select a bearer token, and now paste the access token, and now get the request. So we just got it right. CMP business object, endpoint, get. Okay, business object. Enter this one and click on send. Okay, now it says unauthorized. We did enter, right? Okay, let me get the proper URL. Where are the endpoints? Okay, let me try this one. Okay, the resource APIs, copy the one which is at the data level. Okay, it should be same, but it's fine. Okay, can you understand? Now it says 200. Okay, it means that obviously you got the data, and you can just copy this content JSON data and try to check it, how many records it has. So this was one ID, employee ID 1, 2, as well as 3. So we got total 3 records, and it also tells that 3 records we have. Now similarly, let us say if you want to create a new record, what you can do to create a new record, it's again very simple. The same set of particular business object, what do you call the endpoint? You can just see that. Where is that? Yeah, here, right? Only thing is, it just will have this one. What do you call? You just need to have a post request. You just need to have post request. I'll just right click here, click on duplicate. Do you see the duplicate option? Yeah, duplicate tab. And now You just require a post. And when you want to create a new record, you need to mention the content, right? So to mention the content, what you can do is obviously require a JSON content. What I can do is I'll just copy this particular sample JSON content, which was generated for one of my record. I'll just copy like this. Okay. Now I'll just say, I'll just mention a record 4. Obviously, it will, I mean, anyway, it will generate automatically. It doesn't need to worry about that. And these custom fields, right? EMP name, EMP number, job. Let us modify that. I'll just modify this like this. Okay. Now go to the Postman. We mentioned the URL. We changed to post settings. We already have authorization. Next thing is on the body content, select raw and select JSON. Okay. And now try, click on send. If at all the response is 200 okay or some 200 plus something, then it is correct. Else it is not correct. After, yeah, 201, right? 201 means like it got created one record, right? Now let us try the other way, like try to get it, and you have to get the latest record also. You should see the record count 4 now, right? Record count is 4, and you could see the latest record also. 3. Yeah, this one. Where is that? Somewhere it will be there. 1004. 1004, right? You got the 4th record. And also you can check the data tab here. Click on data tab, and you could see all the records which we have, you know, like the 2 records which we created from the Postman will be available here. Or you can create a record from this particular UI also. Let us say I'll just create a 5th record, consultant fine. You can see the 5th record. So now you can create the data using the UI. You can create the data using a Postman. So when you're able to create the data using Postman, nothing but any third-party application also can access the data. Of course, we have used a different concept of accessing the data using a bearer token or something like that. But generally, you can do a authorization-based access. Okay. Other way is you have a VBCS add-in using which also you can do it. Okay, in my case it was not working. So generally whenever you can use Oracle Visual Builder plugin using which you can also upload the data. Okay, that is another way of like working with a business object. Okay, so this is the high level overview of a business object in the Oracle VBCS. Of course, we have not discussed much detail, but this is a very simple high level detail. Okay, thank you.